What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And just a huge thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here, get involved with the channel, joining me on Twitter just lately. It's blowing up over there. Get involved, please. And just thank you so much. And let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from Exact Look 1657. Am I the arsehole for buying my fiancé a new car? My fiancé and I have been together for 3 years, and are getting married late next year, assuming things have improved in the world by then. She doesn't make a lot of money, so we split expenses 30-70, which I don't mind. Her car is a hunk of junk and would cost more to fix the broken AC than the entire car is worth, so has been looking at getting a new, used car before the summer. Her birthday is coming up, so I decided to surprise her. I bought a beautiful 2017 Jeep Wrangler with under 30k miles, cruise control, power mirrors and working AC, of course. I woke her up this morning and led her out to the driveway where I parked the car and hand her the keys. She says nothing. I tell her it's a new car. The first thing that comes out of her mouth is, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Huge fight ensues. She is literally screaming at me out in the driveway. Her grievances are, she wanted a Honda Fit, has much lower cargo capacity, she doesn't have any special need for subcompact, also never mentioned this before. She doesn't want to pay the insurance. I am covering the full car payment, so her insurance costs less than what would have been paid in payment plus insurance for a car she bought herself. She hates Jeeps, literally has never said this before. She has pointed out Jeeps before and said they look cool. Too low MPG, her commute is only 10 miles. She hates silver/grey cars and wanted a bright blue or red car. Are you fucking kidding me? Here's where I may be the arsehole. I called her a spoiled little brat because that last point especially really got me angry, and I took the car to work with me since she apparently didn't want it. She has been blowing at my phone all morning, basically demanding to know if I really bought the car and if it's too late to return it. I haven't responded, but I don't know if I am fully justified or should I calm down first before I call her back. Now, it's hard to call someone an arsehole when they're trying to do a good deed, but the good deed is buying someone something that's very personal to each individual. I mean, if someone went and bought me a car and they bought me something I didn't like, I wouldn't be pissed off, and I think she went a bit overboard with the "are you fucking kidding me" stuff. I mean, they could have, "I'm really sorry, I really don't like this car," something like that, you know. Just not, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But I just think cars are very personal choices. I mean, I got a very distinct taste in cars, and if someone bought me, say, I don't know, a Beetle, I wouldn't really like it, and I wouldn't want to drive it. And if it's got low MPG, I wouldn't like it either, because she is going to be paying that. You know, she's doing 10 miles, but she was only doing 10 miles before in her other car, but now she has to pay more for fuel each time. And the insurance stuff doesn't make sense either, because she is having to pay more insurance, regardless if you paid the car outright or not. It's still costing her. If she's got a monthly allowance, it's still costing her extra. And you said she pointed out Jeeps before and said, oh, they look cool and that sort of stuff, but did you actually research into her actual car taste? If she is looking at the moment, surely you could have asked her what she's actually looking at in the car she likes. And in some ways it can come across like you bought this car for yourself because you seem to love it so much, right? And I can see some people coming into this and going, oh, but he bought her a car, it's such a kind gesture and all this kind of thing. And I get that, I get it's a kind gesture and it's a very generous thing to do as well. And for the actual question itself, am I the arsehole for buying my fiancé a new car? No, you're not the arsehole for that, but you are the arsehole for the details of the actual story, you know. You didn't think about what she really needed at that time. You don't think about her money issues that she's got at the moment. She can't really afford extra insurance, extra miles per gallon, any of that kind of thing. And sure, you may say it comes across as bratty about the color and type of car and all this sort of stuff. But as I said, this is a very personal choice. And if she was saving up to buy a new car, she could have made that choice herself. And I think a better way around it would be discussing it with her and saying, I would like to buy you a car. What are you interested in? And I think you would have got a lot better response. But Orange Gold says, you're the arsehole, you're dismissing all of her concerns because they aren't valid to you. Too low of an MPG for her. Who cares? You think it's fine. It's an SUV and not a car. Who cares? You like the storage. It's a colour she doesn't like. Who cares? You do. I doubt she was the only one screaming in the driveway. You are dismissive and apparently can't be bothered to know what kind of car she actually likes. You bought her a vehicle, sure, but it's one she doesn't like and has no say in. If she bought you a bright pink Prius, are you supposed to say thank you and pretend you love it for the next 5 to 8 years? Good question there. And MM172 says you're the arsehole. You don't buy someone something as big and important as a car without consulting them first, or at least without being 100% sure you know exactly what they want, as opposed to what you think they should want. Take it back, and if you still want to help her out, offer to go shopping with her. And St. Elvis says you're the arsehole and quotes she has been looking to get a new used car before summer, and then says she hates Jeeps. Then says she was looking for a car. You bought her a Jeep. Jeeps aren't cars. And Anastadom says, everyone sucks here. Here is a list of items you never buy without the other, subject to additions from items I've overlooked from my fellow Redditors. House, vehicles, furniture, appliances, pets/animals, anything over a spending limit you set as a couple. When it comes to gift giving, if the item is personal and something they will have or use for years, they need to either have said, I love that, or you need to know their taste 110%. You should not have purchased such a large ticket item that will impact her day-to-day life without consulting her. You thought that was generous and loving, just not executed the way you should have. She could have been more tactful with her reaction. She's justified to feel upset that her day-to-day life has been impacted. And Not Cleaver says you're the arsehole, you should have bought the car together. And if it's supposed to be her car, shouldn't it be something that she actually likes and wants to drive? When my then fiancé, now wife, got a car earlier this year, we did it together, even though she's the one primarily driving it, and I've been mostly paying for it, because her preferences for the car mattered more than mine did. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Is OP not the arsehole for buying his partner a very generous gift, or is he the arsehole because he didn't think about what she'd want in the first place? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for showing my male 22 roommate a security camera footage of her female 23 having sex in my room? I live with 3 roommates, and since I've had bad experience with roommates before, I installed a security camera to get an alert if someone enters my room. One day when we were all at work/school, one roommate and her boyfriend entered my room and had sex for whatever reason. My app alerted me and started recording automatically. When I got home, I confronted her about it and she owned up to it. Said they did it in a different room to spice things up and said that it's not that big of a deal. She was, however, pretty angry at the fact that I had a security camera in my room and video of her having sex, which I deleted, obviously. She said that recording her having sex is a bigger invasion of privacy than her having sex in my room. Am I the arsehole in this situation? And I think this one is pretty simple, that you're totally in the right to have a camera in your room if you want to, and she shouldn't have been in there having sex in your room, the bloody idiot. But Striking Firefly says, not the arsehole. She shouldn't have been having sex in your room in the first place. You have every right to have a camera in your room. You didn't set out to record her having sex. It's not an invasion of her privacy because she's not entitled to privacy when in your personal space. And Frankly Dank Meme says, not the arsehole. It is a big deal to enter someone's room and have sex without them knowing. She can spice it elsewhere. And Throwaway says, not the arsehole. She's angry she got caught and using the reasons why she got caught to try and make you the bad guy. She's angry, not as you, for her going into your room to have sex. Also, you don't have to delete shit. It's evidence of her being in your space and could be handy if you feel it necessary to end the living arrangement with a penalty to her. And Secret Ratto says, what in the world, and quotes, I broke into someone else's private area without their knowledge and I'm mad that they have security. Lol, not the arsehole. And Brocan says, I just hate it when I break in someone's house and the security camera films me. It's just such an invasion of my privacy. They should really inform me that they have the camera before I break into their space. Not the arsehole. Get a lock on your door, man. Now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for my reaction when my husband gave his sister her 18th birthday gift? I, female 29, have been married to my husband Jack, male 34, for 3 years. We're expecting our first baby together. I'm in my 7th month. He has a sister, but both my father-in-law and mother-in-law are deceased. His sister goes between her aunt's house and ours. I absolutely adore her. She's always welcome and treated like a little sister to me. I've lost a sister in 2015. She's sweet and ambitious. Jack takes good care of her, and I support him 100%, and I encourage him to keep looking after her. It's obvious he always wants what's best for her. For her 18th birthday, Jack has talked about making the day special for her. He decided that we both need to get separate gifts, and I agreed, thinking nothing of it. I got her a bracelet. I showed it to Jack, but he didn't let me see what he got her, and told me to wait until her birthday. At her birthday party, the family was gathered, her aunt as well, and when it was time for a gift opening, Jack told us to wait for a minute, then went outside. I thought he was bringing a cute dog, but suddenly we heard a car honking. We went to see it, and there was a new car, colour red, with Jack inside honking. His sister was surprised and excited. He got out and handed her the key. Everyone was happy except me. The car was worth over 11k. I was visibly upset, and I started asking Jack about the money, and he said it was ours. Where else could he get the money? I just had to lash out at him, and then I went inside. His aunt noticed. Shortly, I left without saying anything. I went to my mum's directly. His aunt sent me a text telling me she didn't appreciate my reaction and raising my voice on Jack. She went on about me trying to cause a divide between Jack and his sister, and blamed me for leaving. Jack came an hour later and made excuses, saying that his sister deserves to be happy when she's not having her mum and dad with her. I argued with him about not telling me, and that I too get a say since it's our money. We're not rich, so I had no idea why he thought 11k was nothing. He took it as in I don't like it that his sister is happy, and said he won't return it because it hurt her feelings, then left. We haven't talked for 3 days, and he got stressed and is acting like he is in the right. Absolutely, you should be pissed off. £11,000 that he just went and spent of both of your money. It's your money too, so absolutely you have the right to be pissed off in this situation, and you're definitely not the arsehole for your reaction. And regardless of what Jack says, you said in yourself in this situation that you adore her and you really want what's best for her. Obviously 11k is way too much, and I don't understand why Jack didn't think of it that way. Obviously he loves his sister a whole lot, but it's just too far, isn't it? Without talking to you first as well. Wow. But mostly Eagle says, not the arsehole. Your husband shouldn't spend that kind of money without asking, especially with the expenses on the way, or even asking you in the slightest. Family is important, but you have to know your limits. And Estella Leven says, not the arsehole. You need to completely divide your finances now and make sure you get back what he stole from you. Yes, he stole from you. If he took more than just his share of your savings. And please PM Catpick says, not the arsehole, separate your finances and think seriously about whether you want to stay with someone who will make unilateral decisions about things that affect the both of you. And Woa S says, not the arsehole, 11k. I saw my life flash before my eyes. Why did she need a new car? Who pays maintenance? He knew this wasn't okay, this is why it was a secret. Your reaction was as good as it gets. You have to leave or one of you would have died at the party. I personally would have told the auntie that I didn't appreciate her butting into my marriage and trying to cause a divide between me and my husband. Now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from House Stealer 2021. Am I the arsehole for not giving my sister my house after stealing hers? Throwaway to remain anonymous. Hubs 31 and I 29 female are due with baby 1 and 2. We are only 13 weeks along but are looking into buying a new house. Our property is great, but our house is 1, not big enough, and 2, falling apart. This is a big deal to us as we thought it was never going to happen as we've been trying for 5 years. Anyway, my parents have been looking into downsizing for the past few years as they say the house is too big after my sister and I grew up. This is completely understandable as it is a 5-bedroom home. A few weekends ago, they sat Hubs and I down and asked if we would be interested in their house as they closed on a new one and are preparing to move. This took us by surprise and we told them we couldn't afford it. They insisted, saying that they didn't want payment for it. We went through financials of the house and decided it would be doable, and we happily agreed but insisted they let us pay them whatever we sold our property for. Okay, great. Both our problems solved and everyone is happy. Everyone except my sister, 26 female that is. Ever since we were kids, she swore up and down that the house would belong to her someday and begged my parents to give it to her in their will. She's part of the reason they decided to downsize. When she found out, she called me to banshee scream at me about stealing her house from her and started demanding I give her my property because it's not fair that I get 2 while she rents. I told her the property was being sold and that the money was going to our parents. She screamed more before I hung up. I text her that she needs to stop being an entitled bitch and that she couldn't afford either property, so she needs to start thinking with her head. Since then, I'm getting non-stop calls and messages calling me a thief and a bitch for doing this to my sister, and that I have to give her my property. I'm starting to feel bad because she has always wanted our parents' house, and I'm getting it basically for 1/10 of the cost. Edit, their house is worth about 90k, and we're hoping to get 10k from our property, and are hoping to be able to give them 16k. They aren't planning on giving her an equal gift, as they give her about 500 a month, and have bought her several cars throughout the years, and have bought all her furniture and brand new for her. I did not receive the extra money though. They bought me a car at 18, helped with the emergency repairs when we were younger, house and car, and liked to buy big ticket items on birthdays and Christmas. They bought us a new oven 2 Christmases ago. Our parents try hard not to play favourites. I don't accept most of the help unless it's 100% needed, and I don't want to do that to them, and I can support myself. In the edit, when it talks about house is worth 90k and they're hoping to get 10k from their property, where the fuck they live in? I want to go there. Houses around where I live, and I'm not. This is not like braggy or anything like that, but they're like at least 200k plus, and that's for like small, quickly put together houses. I mean, we do live quite close to that. Well, we are in Oxfordshire, so it is quite expensive anyway. But 10 to 90k, man, that's insane. And they said that they live in the Midwest in a small country town and cost of living is pretty low, and they're giving up some amenities such as restaurants, grocery stores and access to jobs. So yeah, it still blows my mind that there's places where you can get houses for that kind of money. That's crazy. Good for you though, if you have got a house for that sort of price, well done to you. But Starchy says this is a huge gift, and unless they are able to give her something of commensurate value at similar stage in her life cycle, I can see why she's mad. She of course is not entitled to the house, and her reaction is crazy, but this is an example of big favoritism. Since you were so attached to this specific house, why didn't your parents sell it and split the money between you? That way you have money to upgrade to a better house, and she doesn't get double slap in the face of you alone being gifted the house of her dreams while she gets nothing. Has she done something terrible to the family to lead your parents to completely cut her out like this? If not, then everyone sucks here because you don't seem to care about your parents treat her so much worse than you. And Big Tap says your parents are playing favourites, which sort of sucks, but a house costs a lot more beyond the initial monthly payment. I suspect they know she won't be able to maintain or afford it if she's waiting for them to die before she gets it. I would ask your parents to handle it as it's their call ultimately. And Dragon says, not the arsehole, your parents' house, your parents' choice, block your sister. And Wooby33 says, not the arsehole, if you worked it out with your parents and your parents offered it to you and you didn't beg them for it, then there's no way you're the arsehole. And Jack Dallas says, and quotes, she swore up and down that the house would belong to her someday and begged my parents to give it to her in their will. She's part of the reason they decided to downsize. Then says, if your parents can stand the assault from Sister Harpy 26 female, you can shut down the communication. And stopping her by no contact or low contact or grey rock will all work. Happy pregnancy and happy new/old house. Take Sister Harpy 26 female out of this equation. Equals heaven. Nice. And Ghost of Kilgore says, not the arsehole, if your sister wasn't acting like a giant arsehole, I'd probably have a lot more sympathy with her situation. Of course it's your parents' house, and as adults, you're not really entitled to anything from them, but I could imagine it'd be a real sore one if they just offered you a whole house for free, and she got absolutely nothing. However, it sounds like she's been trying to call shotgun on the house all for herself for years, so honestly, you getting it sounds like a bit of just desserts. If your sister hadn't been such an arsehole, I'd probably call it an everyone sucks here for totally cutting her out with nothing at all, but she has been so, not the arsehole. And Tired and Angry Butt says, not the arsehole, your parents made the decision, not you. You're a grown family and will need the space, and you have experience with home ownership, so presumably you'll be able to afford the upkeep costs, whereas you suggested she wouldn't. Your sister is calling this theft because she wants the house, but nothing in your post suggests that there is in any way she could reasonably expect to own it, or that you saying no would have led her to getting it instead. Plus she demanded that you give her your house. Even a small house in poor condition is far too much to just give away unless you're obscenely wealthy. Congratulations on the babies and house, and I hope that your sister gets the attitude adjustment that she needs. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. Now, once again, guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you did enjoy today's stories. And if you did, you know what to do. Hit that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And just a huge thank you for your support, your time, everything really, guys. It's been absolutely amazing, and I cannot thank you enough for what you do. And I will see you in the next one, I hope. Much love, guys. Take care now. Bye-bye.